Hi. I don't think anybody's going to join me because it's very early. Oh, I have one. Hello. Okay. Um SG, how are you? I think I have 16 people on YouTube. I always try to do a live stream whenever I can this early because you guys don't usually get the chance to join. So whenever there are chances like this, I just take that opportunity. So thank you guys for joining me. So in the first part, let me just close something here. I'm just going to share my initial thoughts first. And then after that, if you guys, hi Michelle, if you guys have questions, then maybe we can discuss, or if you have comments, then we can discuss. Hi Barbara, good morning. All right. So, hi, Carrie. Were you guys shocked with the news? I was actually dreading this. Not really dreading, but I was sort of hoping that they would file an appeal right away. But after, as you know, in the live stream last Monday, I already mentioned that they haven't filed an appeal. I was like, they should be filing now. So when they didn't, I kind of already anticipated. And I think I said it out loud during the live stream that there may be some disturbance in their force. But okay, let me say hi to everybody first. SG. Okay, what happened? Okay, hi SG 0212, Michelle, Barbara, Carrie, carrying on a LA. Huh? Carrying on LA. Joel 20, AD Banks as San DG, Kathy Swamp, MJD. Oh, let me go live on Instagram. Okay, so I'm live on Instagram. EG X136, Alta 444, Nico, Kemuning, Alina, Curie, Feliz, Omni, Barbara, Saskia, Curly Joe. Do you want to come to me, baby? My dog, of course, wants to say hi. Come on. So just says yes because only half of them actually came back. So two of three, not quite half, almost there. Hey, this is wild. Yes. So Curie, Dodger Girl, Mbella, BRH, Janine, Suvantro Production, Angel versus 7E, Curious Cat, Nemeth, Feliz, Alpha, Renee on X. Hi, Renee on X. I wonder how many people are on X. Okay, usually a silent member of this, Sandy. It is way too entertaining. You should have seen me crashing out on Patreon. Okay. If you're a member of my Patreon, you were so shocked. Shy fans, TLT, SG, Leia War, Barton, and Janine. Okay, so let's start. I'll share some of my thoughts first, and maybe some of the things that I'll be talking about. You guys will be, this might, excuse me, this might answer some of your questions if you have existing questions. Say hi, baby. Say hi to everybody. Oh, sorry. Say hi. Hi. Hello. Oh, that's a cute face. Okay. Um, so two of the members, these are the two youngest members, Hyein and Haerin, and they just literally, or at least Ador, literally just announced about an hour or an hour and a half ago that they are going to be coming back. They've decided to honor the decision of the court and they are going to continue working with Ador. And this is the statement. This is the English version, the actual English statement that they released. And they said, "Hello, this is Ador. Haerin and Hyein of NewJeans have decided to continue their activities with Ador. After thoughtful consideration with their respective families and thorough discussion with Ador, the two members have decided to respect the court's latest ruling and adhere to the exclusive contract with the labels. Ador is committed to providing its full support to Haerin and Hyein To ensure the seamless continuation of their artistic endeavors, we request the warm support of the fans and respectfully urge you to avoid engaging in unfounded speculation regarding the members. Thank you. Okay. So that is their statement. All right. So let's go through some of the most some of my thoughts, and then maybe some of these things that I'll be talking about. You guys will answer some of the questions that you have. So first is the legal reality, because a lot of people are now asking, can the three members continue with their appeal if the two members are not going to join them? Can they still appeal? So that will be Minji, Daniel, and Hani. Okay. So the answer is that yes, they can still appeal. Technically, they can still appeal, but strategically, of course, it's nearly impossible for them to move forward without the full group alignment. As you would remember, the court actually already sided with HYBE, dismissing not just every major and minor claim by NewJeans and their parents, including the allegation of broken trust. And so, if two members have already returned to Ador under HYBE's control, the group's legal unity is going to be fractured. And that means that the appeal is not going to be persuasive to the court. All five would actually need to be present. They need to present a consistent argument that their contract were compromised and that the trust was already broken. That consistency and that unity are already lost when the two members decided to come back. And that while an appeal could be filed in name, technically, if the appeal can still the even though the appeal can still be filed technically, it would likely now collapse without the cohesive five-member group. Because do remember that huge amount, or not a huge amount, but actually the backbone of their appeal or their lawsuit is the broken trust. And if two members are coming back, then that's the trust is not broken because the two members came back. That is the bottom line of the entire argument. With the two members leaving, most likely the entire argument is going to collapse. If they said, and remember that each of them testified that they're nothing without without Min Hee-jin, that HYBE mistreated them. If the two members are coming back, then the court is going to say, well, aside from the fact that all of the important arguments that you presented in court have already been denied, now you have two members coming back. Your argument is actually weaker. Okay. Um, Next is the human cost. We have to remember that at the at the real victim, quote unquote, of this entire situation wasn't really Min Hee-jin, and it wasn't really the five girls of New Jeans. It was other people, right? And sorry, the real victim is not really Min Hee-jin, but other people, not Min Hee-jin. And one of that would be the members of New Jeans. Yein and Yerin, sorry, yeah, Yein and Haerin are very, very young and they're still in their teens. So I do believe that they deserve a second chance. That is definitely something that I have advocated. I know that I have frustrated many of you in the many, many times that we've discussed this case, because I said that I always want the best for them. Regardless of what happens, I do want the best for them. I don't necessarily wanted them to return to HYBE, but to Adore, but I still want the best for them. So I do think that just like every one of us, they deserve a second chance. We all get a second, third, fourth, fifth chances. At this very moment, I can bet you all that we are getting our second, third, fourth, fifth chances. And so if we do, then they do as well. But let's remember that during the height of the Adore versus HYBE conflict, or Minheejin versus Adore conflict, the ripple actually, the ripple effect across the company was so huge. And other hype artists were actually the ones that got affected so much. So that included producers, managers, employees of other hype companies. And they all spoke privately and publicly about the atmosphere of fear, of the division, of how everything Min Hee-jin was saying was actually affecting them. And of course, let's remember that the two groups that were affected gravely were Le Seraphim and I'll It. Now, for example, Yunjin, because she's the one who is most, I would say, articulate publicly at the very least in expressing her emotions and how she felt. She has written so many songs, so many letters, and they've released some of the documentaries where she actually talked about how she felt. She didn't necessarily talk about what Min Hee-jin did or the lawsuit itself, but more about her own emotions. And do remember that at one point she was crying so hard and she was so scared that the group was over. She even told one of the staff members that it's because she thought they were going to disband. She told one of the staff members that it was so early, too early for them to give up. At the same time, she didn't know how they were going to survive it. That she literally asked people, "How are we going to survive this thing?" And of course, in their latest release song, the song that they released, they she even mentioned and included in the song in the lyrics. She said she talked about the April storm, which was right around the time when the controversy was at its height. And um so there the trauma is there, the pain is there. Uh and two of the very people tied into this entire thing, they're returning to the company. They are returning to the place that got so affected. Sorry, they are returning to the place that their producer tried to destroy, including the people that were there. Okay. So that is a concern. That is definitely a concern. And that is the part that people shouldn't forget. That aside from the fact that Min Hee Jin and other people, and aside from the fact that Min Hee-jin said all of those things, aside from the fact that Ador was going to court and HYBE was going to court, there are groups in HYBE, and those groups are comprised of real people who got affected by this entire thing. And it's not just for them, it's not just a legal case. Okay, please look at the chat. Okay, what is it? I think they need to apologize to the other three girls have announced their return. Has Adore responded? Look at the chat. What is it? What am I supposed to look at? Good morning from Athens, Greece. Hello. Um, the three members announced that they are going to return. I think they are returning with evidence that could be used against Min Hee-jin. Even as a spectator, I was very stressed and worried for those two groups. All five are back. Okay. I will still be talking. Some of the points are still. Don't worry. The points that I'm going to be discussing are still applicable. Okay. So, I told you guys that they are. Um, there's the moment that I opened my X, one of the members, one of the people that regularly communicated with me, uh just sent me a message. It's all cursing. Okay, so breaking news: all new Jeans members are returning. Daniel, Hani, and Minji have also decided to come back. And I think he okay, so all of them are coming back. They released a statement. Need them away from my building. Oh gosh. Okay, so let's see a door statement. Mm, They should have they should, and then I'll share it with you. Okay, so all new members, it's all over, it's all new members. Let's look for the Adore profile because that would be official. Okay, give me 1 second. My gosh. Okay. So someone in the chat was worried because she said that she doesn't want the five girls separated. Okay, so notice okay, so Adore has not released a statement. The last statement that Adore released is regarding the two members. So maybe they are just waiting. They're just composing the response. Okay, so it's still so obviously if the five members are going to come back, they most likely are not going to they definitely are not going to push through with the appeal. Now, as I was saying, let's just go back to what I was talking about before the announcement. There's still the human cost of what happened, right? And as I was saying, the I do believe in second chances, and these are very, very young people. And if people like us who've been through life and have been alive for for decades, if we still are getting our second, third, fourth, fifth chances, then all the more these girls deserve second chances. But let's not forget that the real casualty of this entire thing are the other groups of HYBE, and that would be Isle It and Le Seraphim. Are all members back? Yes. So news articles have, let me place it here. So news articles have been coming out stating that the five members, the three other members, have decided to return to Ador. Here you go. Wait a minute. I'll show it to you so that you guys know what I'm referring to. So this was okay. All right here. But there are no other articles. I mean, it's just headlines. I think they just want to break the news. But let me put it here. Okay. Just as so people would know. My dog needs his scratches here. Okay. Okay, so all five members are now confirmed to be coming back. We're just waiting for the official statement of Ador. I'm sure that they are going to release the statement anytime now. All right, so we'll discuss Min Hee-jin, but as I was saying, let's not forget that the real casualty of this entire thing are the other groups in HYBE, and that would be Le Seraphim and Islet, and these are composed of real young people as well. I know that NewJeans are young, but so are the girls in Le Seraphim and Islet. And if you would remember, they went through something so bad, but the one that managed to talk about it was Yoonjin. She's the writer, she's the one who writes songs. And she talked about the pain that they went through, not necessarily mentioning the lawsuit and the hate train that they went through, but just the pain that they were going through, that to a point that she thought they were going to break up, and she thought that she was actually asking the agency Source Music to not disband the group because she thought they were going to disband Le Seraphim. And in their latest song, she actually mentioned that storm. She specifically pinpointed April Storm because that was when they did Coachella. And it was such a bad hate train because the material evidence show that they did so well. The live singing it's not perfect because it's a live performance, it's open air. Basically eating sorry, not dusk, but dust in that area, and you're singing live. So it is as good as can be, but people made it so that it was so bad. All the performances that they were doing, even though they were singing flawlessly, people managed to make other people believe, specifically the haters, they managed to make people believe that they were doing so bad. And so they were really traumatized. And so my point is that we should not forget that they were the ones who suffered the most. And now that not just two, but all members are coming back to the agency or to the company that they tried to destroy, let's remember that these girls are still there. They work there. They are going to encounter these people. And there has to be some sort of a process for these five women to be reintegrated to Adore and to hide. Because as I've said, it's inevitable for these people to actually encounter each other. And the management, Adore and HYBE and other management, the management of other agencies will have to make sure that the rest of the company and the other groups in that building will also feel secure. And that means rebuilding the trust through open communication, setting clear boundaries, possibly a mediation between the groups. There has to be some sort of an apology. And unfortunately, the five girls cannot claim innocence because they did contribute actively. They contributed to the hate. They, despite the claims that they weren't mentioning the names of Les Seraphim and I'll It. Besides, you don't need to mention the names to know that you are talking about them. So there has to be mending. There has to be mediation. Women that these people will need to sit down and talk. And I'm pretty sure that there will be programs set in place and processes set in place for that. And then there is the psychological layer to it. If you would remember, one of the strongest mantra of the five girls during the lawsuit is that they are nothing without Min Hee-jin. They repeatedly said that they owe everything to her. And for months they repeated that we are nothing without her, that they wouldn't be who they are if it wasn't for her. They said that NewJeans is actually six members and that the sixth member is her. And so that phrasing actually reveals something beyond loyalty. It actually suggests conditioning. Um, and so yes, all of them are returning. And so young artists can actually easily make mistakes, right? Young artists can easily make mistakes. Um, and and one of the possible things is that w- what they were trying to do when they said it was to express their loyalty to Min Hee-jin. But Min's leadership style, it seems, is based on, at least based on court evidence and interviews, was emotionally immersive, meaning she actually cultivated dependence on her instead of encouraging the girls to think for for themselves, encouraging the girls to own their own creatives and their own artistic identities. It's the opposite based on what the court evidence says and what the girls have been saying. She portrayed herself as the only adult who understood or could actually shield the girls. That's why they were so dependent on her. And so, if the members truly believed that they were fighting for safety, because I think that's what happened, they were convinced that what they were going to do was actually an act of, they were being protected, and it wasn't rebellion. It was for their protection, not rebellion. And that indicates how effectively she was able to frame defiance as self defense. She convinced them that what they were doing was to defend themselves and not really to defy the agency, the hand that was feeding them. So for teenagers raised in a culture of dependence, that framing can feel morally right. right? If you were raised in an environment where you feel you cannot stand on your own, the person you are depending on, when they tell you to do something to keep that relationship with them, then that can feel like protection. But we don't know how far and how deep she was able to go in convincing them that they were in fact uh just reliant on her, that they are nothing without her, because they kept on saying that. And they were not shy on that. They were very, very loud. Look at all this, the t-shirts that they were wearing, the things that they were saying. They would constantly comment on people posting about Min Hee-jin and how right they are for with each other. So we don't know how deep she was able to go. We don't know how far her influence is with these girls. And so that they need some sort of decompression. They need to be snapped out of it. Although they are now returning to Ador, it doesn't mean that they are completely out of that frame, that headspace they were in with Minheejin. A good thing is that HYBE has a very strong mental health program which they can take advantage of, and even their parents. So that's a good thing. Now, the other thing is the parents' role, right? Because they were not innocent bystanders in all of this. They actually were an active participant in this. According to court documents, they were used by Min Hee-jin at the very least, although Min Hee-jin threw them under the bus later on. Um, According to court documents, they were the ones who filed, sorry, according to court documents, initially, Min Hee-jin used the parents, or sort of manipulated the parents, so that they will be the ones to file a complaint first. She said that if it is the parents that will file the complaint first, then it's going to be more visible. It's going to not visible, but believable. It's going to be more convincing if they file first. And then you if you would remember, a family was actually torn apart because of all this. Yane's father petitioned that he be given full custody of Yane because he didn't want to sue Ador. He did not want her daughter to leave Hybe. And so it came down to, I guess, separation or divorce. But the point is that Yein, the mother of Yein, actually got full custody of Yein because of this entire thing. And so that gives you an idea how deep she was able to go to the heads of the parents for the parent to actually allow their marriage. I don't know if they were separated by that. That's none of our business. That's a possibility. But also, aside from that, messages revealed that Min Hee-jin actually coordinated with the girls themselves to talk to their parents. In fact, the court actually said that at one point, Min Hee-jin told one of the members, I believe it was Daniel, to rewrite the letter so that it sounds like his dad, or her dad, sorry, not his dad, but her dad. So do you want to go down? Mm. Okay, say bye bye. Say bye bye. Say bye bye. Mm. Say bye bye. Okay. And so they were used heavily by Min Hee-jin. Um, Eventually, though, during the court case, Min Hee-jin sort of threw them under the bus, and she said that she had nothing to do with it. It was really the parents. So, but the point remains that the parents were so deep into it that one of the parents allowed her family to be broken that way, and that they actually actively participated in this, right? So that's another consideration, especially for the youngest member who's still a minor, then the parents will actually have an active part in her career. And then the other thing is that with regards to the girls, the five members of NewJeans, if you would remember the copying allegations and the selective victimhood. So initially, people were made to believe that this allegation of copying actually came from Min Hee-jin. Okay. But then the girls, through their lawyer, actually said that it was them who went to Min Hee-jin and said that Eyelit is actually copying us. So they were sort of saying, not sort of, but they were claiming that this entire thing started with us. It was us who complained to her that we are being copied. So now that they are returning, of course, that's a concern. Did you really believe that you were being copied? You were being plagiarized by Eyelet? If you really believed that you were being plagiarized, then something has to be done for you to understand that there was no copying. In fact, if we are going to be very strict about it, it was actually them copying others. It's just that they were accusing Eyelit of copying the things that they copied, right? So there has to be some sort of an explanation for them to understand that no, all of these things that you're claiming is not true. You are misguided. Now, if it is not true that the idea came from them, well, then they lied. So, again, no matter which way you look at it, no matter how much you slice and dice it, something has to be done about it. Someone has to explain to them, and they need to understand that all those things that they said about being copied, about other girls copying them, about other groups copying them, they're not even remotely true. So now the question would be that can they recognize the contradiction of what they were claiming? They were accusing Eyelet of copying them when in fact they copied others. Now, I know it wasn't them. According to them, it wasn't them deciding on their concept. They were very vocal about the fact that it was Min Hee-jin who was planning everything. So, but they were made to believe that they were the originals of all of this. So again, no matter how much you slice and dice it, they need to understand the reality of everything that happened. Everything they did was also inspired by from someone else. And so they have no right to claim others of copying them. They have no right to claim ownership over those concepts. So they have to understand that. And the other thing is that do if they genuinely were only saying that it was their idea to save Min Hee Jin, that is a huge lie that they said. And they have to realize what they actually said. That's perjury in court. The other question is that what made them change their minds? And I know to some people they're gonna say that it doesn't really matter. You know, they're back. That's all that matters. But it does matter because if now I do think that at some point the two girls, Yerin and Yain, because they were the youngest, I thought that they didn't really understand the how humongous that thing they were doing. They didn't understand the lawsuit that they were filing. They didn't understand who they were actually fighting. And they didn't understand the basis of all of their complaints. Um, and it was only later on that things started dawning on them when they weren't getting work, when everything was taken away from them, being taken away from them, when they were being forgotten by the public because people were just moving on to other things. So that's a possibility that they didn't understand actually what they were doing. But it's also a possibility that they're just being practical at this stage because that's an expensive penalty they have to pay, right? If they drag this case longer, at some point they're gonna have to pay some penalty and still be bound by that contract. And I think they realize that. I'm pretty sure that the law firm has actually been explaining that to them, that there's just no way we can break out of that contract without you having to pay. But maybe they're just being practical. If they are just being practical, then it's not, there is no real realization of what they're actually doing, of what they have done. There is no recognition and acknowledgement of what they have done to the company and to other people. Now, if they just didn't know what they were actually doing from the very beginning and they were just brainwashed, then there has to be some sort of a washing of that mind. Now, I do think I believe in second chances. I really do, because I get it every day of my life. I get my second, third, fourth, fifth chances. So far be it for me to be the one who says they should not be given that. But I also do not believe in free passes. That just because you are given a second chance doesn't mean that you don't go through the consequences of your own action. So I think returning to Ador, there has to be some sort of accountability of what they have done, and some reflection. And the first and foremost to the people that they've hurt, or Le Seraphim, It, those first. But they also need to do it publicly because they did destroy these women, these girls, these young girls publicly. So I think anything short of that is not taking accountability. I think they are going that if they don't do any of that, that means that they are going to miss the point. So that is it for me. I think if I'm being honest at this stage, initially when I thought that it was just the two girls, Haerin and Hyein, coming back, I thought, okay, it's actually better if it's just the two of them without the other three coming back, because then it's going to give them some space to rebuild their identity separate from Min Hee-jin, and maybe even separate from HYBE. And also, I think believe it or not, I think the public is going to be more forgiving if it was just the two of them. But also, the more important thing is that if it's just the two of them, it's going to limit the direct tension within the group while letting them prove their actual artistry. But now that it's actually the five girls coming back, I don't know. But uh, I know that their fans will still be there. They do have some loyal fans. But as I've mentioned, I believe in second chances, but I don't believe in free passes. I do think that there has to be some reflection. They have to own up to what they have done. And even though they didn't think it through, even though they weren't really aware of what they were doing, the still they did it. So and three of the members were already adults when they did it. So they have to own up to what they have done. Now, I know that there are some speculation, one of which is that what are they bringing back to Ador? Are they actually going to provide some evidence to Ador so that Ador can actually strengthen their case against Min Hee-jin? We don't know, right? And I don't think that Ador is going to say that. They're going to talk about that. Maybe the court documents will actually reveal some things. But the return of the five, now five, is that the number one consequence is that yes, she is in trouble. She's in big trouble now, because then that's the five girls turning against her, and when in fact their entire defense in the termination of the contract was actually based on her. um those are my thoughts. I hope you got something out of it. But so yeah, aside from the first point, because now we know that they're not going to file for an appeal, everything still applies. They still need to take accountability. They need to decompress, mentally decompress for what they have gone through. They have to understand the accusations that they have thrown the way of Eyelet and Lissaraphim actually damage this women mentally and emotionally, and they have to own up to it. The parents will have to do their own reflection, and they also have to be accountable for what they have done. And the most important thing of all is that there has to be some process in order to secure the other groups to avoid this thing from happening again. And I think it's the management's job to actually link the other groups together with the five girls so that they can talk and actually clear the air. Okay. Um, I would not trust them with a 10-foot pole. Okay, let me put up this article. So, yes, the five of them are now back, according to that. Let me see if Adore already published a statement, but it's just odd. It was so weird when I saw Adore release a statement. It was not that I was shocked because, as I've said, when I first heard about them not filing for the appeal right away, I knew something was up. So, yeah, they haven't released a statement yet, but so we're still just getting word about the three members returning from the media. No formal release yet. Okay. Um let me see. Yeah, so they haven't released anything to the media either yet. Okay. I woke up. Wow. Maybe MHJ and her shaman can form a duo uh and make money. the, so I just wanted to make it clear that, as I've said, and I've said this many, many times, I've always wished the best for the girls. And even when they, at the height of all of these things, I still wanted the best for them. I just didn't want them back in hype, primarily because I'm thinking of the other girls, Eyelit, Le Seraphim. And also, let's not forget that the person that they supported actually tried to access files of financial and the accountant of BTS. So I will not forget that. And through all of this, they supported her. So I was like, I want them to rebuild their career, to continue doing what they want to do, but not with Adore or with Hybe. But they are back. And so it is what it is. Okay, I hope they understand and they have cost you that they have cost huge that the huge costs to Hybe, and this cost will have to come out of their earnings probably for a long time before they can start earning for themselves. They return because the court decision, not because they want to, so they are still the same. Probably they will play innocent and fake rumors since they are very good at giving false statements. It was not announced by Adore, but for other three girls apparently. So the media here, this is one of the news outlets that printed the story that the other three girls are also returning. So the two girls that was confirmed by Adore, that Yerin and Yein are returning. That was confirmed by Adore. But the other three girls were still waiting for the formal statement of Adore. So far, it's just the media that's talking about it. That they didn't let Adore release the statement first tell me everything I need to know. Finally, this has given me peace. I've not been in support of MHJ, but sincerely speaking, this situation has stressed me. The problem is that I don't trust their parents. They easily follow MHJ's words, so I don't trust their children either. Yeah, I don't. That's why I want to, that's why I wanted them to continue their career outside of Hybe. I don't wish them ill. I can go through a lie detector test and I will tell and that I will be able to prove to you that I do not wish them ill. I want them to be able to continue their career. I just didn't want them to do that in Adore. But as I've said, it is what it is. They came back. I don't know if Adore actually expected this, but they are back. My fear is that they are still minions of Mama Jeans and have ill intentions. Then they need to come back humble and make amends. So that I think will be the role of the management. If there is anybody that should assure other groups and also secure the system of the company itself, that would be the management. They have to do their part. They have to make sure that this thing doesn't happen again and that these girls are getting the mental health that they need, that the parents are getting the mental health that they need, mental health assistance, mental health help that they need. Um, that would be the management. They do need to make that. I think for me, even above everything else, the most important thing is to secure the company and to secure the groups that they damaged. So eyelid specifically and Le Seraphim, and then the rest, because everyone was in that. Now we know based on the court case that Min Hee-jin was actually targeting everybody else. She mentioned all the groups. She mentioned NHYPEN, TXT, 17, BTS, and she tried to get access to the content of BTS. They were groomed. They were groomed and manipulated. All these things don't disappear magically. They are still under Min Hee-jin's influence, and their return is suspect and messy. They are suspect and messy. Yeah. I know that I can accept someone's apology, but that doesn't mean that I will forgive or forget. I can definitely forgive, but yes, I will definitely not forget. Meaning I will make it a point to protect myself. And I'm sure that the management of HYBE will do something about that. They called HYBE all sorts of names except the Child of God, name called Bang, and the previous Ador CEO after the Roach. Oh, yeah. So it's actually Yein that posted that. I think she posted it in their app that was made specially for them, phoning that, and that has something like stop copying us. And then initially people were saying it's not really related or directed at ILIT. And then in court they actually said, through their lawyer, they actually said that it was their idea, that the idea of them being copied came from them. And so it became sort of easier to assume or presume that that specific post of Yerin was actually directed at ILIT. Maybe the parents were missing the paychecks. Maybe. Okay. It's easy. It really boils down to them not paying the penalties. I can't trust them. I can't imagine what Le Seraphim and ILIT members and their staff are feeling right now. Hyde needs to call for emergency debriefing. Yeah. There has to be some sort of a debriefing, a decompression from that. I believe that is important. There has to be some debriefing. I hope BTS stays away from them. One good thing is that I think from December, I think the BTS are all going to be very, very busy. That I don't think they're going to be in high building all that much. Maybe just to, or maybe they will because they have rehearsals. But then we all know that they have their own space as well. So the studio that they are using, it's just only BTS is actually using that studio. They have their own makeup area. They have their own. They have their own elevator. They have their own everything. So I don't think they are. I don't think they are not involved in MHJ anymore. That's not double negation. So you mean you think they are still involved with MHJ? They give BTS an army headache last year. They need to apologize. We are currently looking into the real intentions of the three members' statement to return from Ador. Okay, so yeah, it's not yet confirmed, but so far the two members are confirmed. So I guess they are checking. Let's see. Let's see here. They also have, if you would remember, they have a new CEO now. She's a branding expert. She came from Shinsege Group, and she's now managing. Okay, let's see. All right, so no statement yet. Okay. HYBE is not going to make the same mistake, and they won't put all the eggs in the same basket again. They are never going to give them crazy resources at the cost of other girl groups. I think that's one of the biggest learnings that they should have learned by now. Not only that, I think by now they should learn that you shouldn't be giving anybody any special treatment, especially if they are new to the company, no matter how big of a name you have. Because as we all know, one of the things that really astounded a lot of people, including me, is the amount of favors they gave Min Hee Jin. They gave her 20% of the company. She that was a loan, and they gave her 20% of the company. She asked for this, she asked for that. They allowed her to take the top floor. I know that that is something superficial to the western market, but to South Korea that's a huge thing. So I actually was shocked that they gave her the top floor. That means that she was the highest ranking in HYBE. So for them to give somebody new that kind of a treatment, I think that's also another thing that they should learn. The three other girls make announcements before Ador. Seriously, Ador is going to have to monitor their electronic access to sensitive HYBE Ador documents, since they may still try to pass documents to MHJ through a false sense of loyalty. That's a possibility. So there are some people that are looking at it both ways. One is that they could be spilling some things from MHJ to Ador, meaning they're providing information to Ador, or that it's the other way around, that they are going to spill some things to Min Hee-jin with regards to Ador. Couple of years left on their contract. Ador pays for the cleanup, and they are free, rested, and trained, and go to MHJ without paying any penalty. So I think the contract will have to be extended to include the time that they were inactive. So it's been 18 months, I believe, almost 2 years. So that their contract, I believe that is how it's going to be structured. It's going to be extended to make up for the time that they were inactive. Although that's a possibility that after the contract is expired, they have money, then they are free to return to Minheejin. That's of course a possibility. Let's not forget about Ailit and lesser of him, who did not deserve anything that happened to them. Yeah, they're actually bulk of the thing that I just presented. That's the biggest consideration. Let's not forget that there are real people who actually suffered because of that. The way that's how it should have been from the beginning, Min Hee-jin versus Hybe, but NewJeans inserted themselves. Correct. Yes. So that's why I said you can't really say that they are innocent, that they didn't really know anything about this, that they weren't involved. Like, of course they were from the very beginning, because it wasn't even supposed to be them. It was supposed to be Min versus Hybe. But then, I guess that's part of what I presented. They were brainwashed into believing that they are nothing without her, and that it was actually Hybe who mistreated them and all of those stuff. Now, every artist under Hybe will, I'm sure, be on the edge. That's what I'm afraid of, them being near the boys and their staff. Okay, let's go down. There's a lot. Oh, wow, there's a lot of comments. Okay, Army, let's tighten our sleeves once again and protect our boys and other Hybe artists from this wicked group until 2029, and I hope they won't extend their contract. Feels like a setup, to be honest. It's hard to believe they go back, especially after everything that was said. They're just in for the money. That's also a possibility, yeah. Um, for all intents and purposes, I don't think that they are going to get the same privileges they used to get. I think they're going to have to work for the trust of the company. And I think they're going to be treated the same way every other girl group is being treated. They won't get the exclusive rehearsal room, exclusive makeup room, exclusive this and that. I think those things they're gonna have to earn back. And I do think that the management of Hybe and the management of Adore will be extra careful now. I mean, you know, th- I think they've learned their lesson. So I definitely think they're going to tighten the security for this one. Okay. Let's see. I don't trust them at all. It's gonna be awkward. But I thought they said even just being near high building gives them heart palpitations, and after visits they need treatment. They need a lesson in humility. Hopefully now BTS will be safe from future attacks from MHJ. She'll be furious with New Jeans, maybe. So New Jeans will be the targets, not BTS anymore. Maybe. The rabid bunnies are going back. It smells fishy to me this time. I know. Let's see if there were. Okay. So there's so a lot of new jeans accounts are shutting down. Some of you might not know, but okay. See here. So they did release a statement and they said Minji, Hani, and Daniel said that after careful discussion and consideration, we have decided to return to Ador. One of our members is currently in Antarctica, so the notice was delayed. And since we have not yet received a response from Ador, we are inevitably sharing our statements separately. We will continue to bring you sincere music and performances. So they released their own statement. So they're saying that I guess one of the three members is in Antarctica. And so they couldn't release their statement right away. And they got in contact with Ador, but Ador has not returned or gotten in touch with them or no response yet. And so they decided that they are just going to release their statement separately. See, the statement was shady as AF. I will never support NJ. Too much harm. Why didn't they just wait? Why release their own statement? Um, to preempt. To preempt. I think one of the things that my gut feel when the two girls were returning is that they were going to get a better response from the public if it was just the two of them. but but the thing is that it's not like Ador is not going to accept them because that's what Ador was fighting for in court to uphold the exclusive contract. And the judge said, and the judge ruled that they have to return. So it's not like Ador can say no. It's not like Ador can say, yeah, and we'll change our mind. So when they weren't coming back, it's like, well, you're gonna have to accept us. That's what you fought in court for. So um they want the way their statement sounds is no remorse at all. Like, okay, we will be back, just disgusting. I want to go to sleep and hopefully wake up to the news saying Adore decided the contract is invalid. I just want to make it clear, very, 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 very clear to everybody. I absolutely have always wished the best for them. I wanted the best for them, much to the disappointment of many of you. A lot of you were actually very harsh on me whenever I said that I wanted the best for them. But, and that has not changed. I still want the best for them. Just that ideally, I didn't want them to come back to I just want them to sort of have their own career outside of HYBE. But it is what it is. So there you go. Of course it was snarky AF. Okay. On X, I won't forget either. As to forgiveness, they will have to earn it. I still don't trust them. It will take a long time for them to gain trust from the public, at least in my opinion. This is how I feel. I believe you. I don't want the best. You're harsh. Can Adore set new terms and conditions? Oh yeah, I think they will. I think I mean, in terms of like terms and conditions, I think it's all up to like how the company is set up. Yes. So they've already changed it as it is. So if you would remember, there are two separate departments now, the same way every other um label under HYBE is set up. So there's half of the company is business and half of the company is creatives. So those are two separate things. So now that is how they set up Adore. So when it was Min Hee-jin, they were unique in that she managed both the business and the creative part. Now they've separated it just like every other agency. So that in itself is a huge change, right? So, yeah. And then the other thing is that from the very beginning, these girls weren't given creative control, right? Because that's what Min Hee-jin actually kept on saying from the beginning. Everything was her idea. She created everything. So the girls were just doing everything that she was telling them. And so I don't think that's going to change. I don't think that the that Adore is going to hand them creative control right off the bat. So because they hurt the two girl groups they that we love, being a fear not is hard in 2024. How can I wish them the best? I understand that. And that was just that. I don't know if you were here for the first half. That was like that was 75% of what I was talking about. That the thing that we should not forget is that there are actual victims in this entire thing, and those were the people that did not ask for this. They didn't have any involvement in this. Eyelit and Le Seraphim. And I talked about how Yoonjin actually talked about it, how scared they were. And now they're in a better place, right? They're healing now. So I think and I'm sure that the management is going to do something about this, that they are going to set up something for, at the very least, for these girls to talk. They can't take away the fact that these five girls directly accuse them of things, copying them, doing this and doing that. That has to heal. You can't just shove it under the rug. And I don't think they will. They're going to be operating and be working in the same building. So um okay. Okay, if they go back without Min Hee-jin and don't succeed because they lost their support, they will claim it is because of MHJ not getting involved. Yeah, so that's another thing that I mentioned before. I said that if they go back, uh, like Adore has everything to lose and nothing to gain. Because if they go back and they become successful, people are going to say, "Well, we told you they've always been successful. Like it's all because of New Jeans." If they fail, they're going to blame Adore for it. They're going to say, "You see, they failed because Min Hee-jin was not there." Um, Arrogant prima donnas. Nobody's gonna work with them. To be honest, Yoonjin should write a diss. Hi, Pinayonce. uh, she should write a diss track. K-pop fans, K-pop idols deserve justice. Also, K-pop fans, when idols speak up, you're wrong and we hate you. None of you were there to know what really happened. I do hope, and what? Sorry, K-pop idols deserve justice. Also, K-pop fans, when idols speak up, you're wrong and we hate you. None of you. What? Okay, I'm not really quite sure. W- Can you explain a little bit more? Your point. I mean, I do hope though they will not give them their makeup room back and all those privileges they got from HYBE. I don't think they will get it. Aren't they blacklisted in K-pop industry? Is Adore still on the top floor? That I don't know. I have a feeling that the top floor has been divided because Big Hit now has three teams with them, right? They have Cordies, and those guys create a lot. so so um I do think that they split the 16th floor. That's just my gut feel because they need to make way. They need to make space for Cordies. I just hope that they, and also I remember Martin saying, although it could be anything, right? But I remember Martin saying that they saw BTS in the elevator and then they got off first, meaning Cordis. Although it could mean that they went somewhere else, the gym or the rehearsal room. So it could be anything else. But I remember him saying that they got off first. And I interpreted that for some reason to mean that they are in a lower floor than the boys, than BTS. So okay, unrelated. But I was waiting for HYBE caterers, and I think that's not possible now because if they are in it or not, people. My point is, everyone loved New Jeans and switched on them like a fake friend would. Ah, okay. I suspect um a lot of the things, just to respond to what you said, I do feel like a lot of the people that were supporting New Jeans, that were very vocal, not all of them, I do think they have a very strong fan base, But I feel like many of those that are very, very vocal, vocal on social media and supporting them, they weren't necessarily supporting NewJeans, but they were just haters of HYBE. So I feel like many of those that are going to turn their backs on NewJeans are not real fans, but just haters of HYBE. I think the fans, the core fans of NewJeans, they will remain. They will support new jeans. That's what I believe. I think it's kind of the same principle with BTS, right? Like those that are going to hate on BTS because of this and that, they're not real fans. They're just trying to destroy BTS. So I think as real fans will stay with new jeans. That's just what I guess. Companies lie all the time, but no one wants to talk about that. What about the rest of the members? So they just released a statement. So the three members, Danny, Hani, and Minji, just released a statement saying that they are coming back. It's just that the statement was delayed because one of the members is in Antarctica. And also they haven't heard from Ador back, and that's why they decided to independently release their own statement. But their statement said that they are going back to Hive. So here, where is that? I will post it here so that you guys see. Let's see how the toxic rabbits will react. Okay, I'll put the image here. So this is their statement. Hi, Denise. Kenzo, Denise. Okay, that's the statement of the three other members. Ups. Okay. After careful discussion and consideration, we have decided to return to Ador. One of our members is currently in Antarctica. So the notice was delayed. And since we have not yet received the response from Ador, we are inevitably sharing our statements separately. We will continue to bring our sincere music and performance. Thank you. So, but the other two, Hyein and Haerin, have been confirmed by Ador. So Ador released a statement to them already. No one should expect that they got their privileges back. They got the basics of any band coming into the Hive building. I didn't say they didn't lie. Are you slow? Oh, don't fight. I'm sure they won't be ignored in the Hive hallways again. Maybe they're going to have their meeting with Bang Shiyuk this time. Bang Shiyuk is in the country, so maybe, maybe. And Nujin's lies cause damage. So Ador may have agreement with Herin and Yein already. I think so. I think they sat down with the two and already made some agreements on some things. So they are probably that's why they released a statement, because based on the statement of Fedor that they are going to release a statement later after talking to the members, it seems that they are going to set forth some conditions. How long have we been live? We are now an hour. I said I'm going to an hour and 7 minutes. I said I'm only going live for an hour just to break the news to you guys. So okay, let me see if there. I'm still going live in my regular schedule. That would be 4 p.m. later. So I'm gonna go to sleep first. So there might be a part two of this one, but so okay. So yeah, so they are people are now just that people are now talking about fans basically on social media are talking about apology, that the girls need to issue an apology to everybody. So, Te is flying to LA. No, they will claim that Bang verbally abused them. No meeting, please. They are known to lie easily, so best not to have any interaction. There has to be some CCTV, and they should call the police. They should call the police this time. Can't believe they're all coming back. I'm not happy about this. Is there emotional support pics coming? I won't be able to. Sleep now. No, I did not prepare for it. I'm so sorry. This was just rush. I was just like, should I do a live stream? And I decided to do it. So unfortunately, there won't be any. Okay, so that's it. I hope that you guys were able to vent as well. I wasn't able to read all the comments. I tried my very best, but I hope that you guys were able to vent and sort of say your piece. I know that many of you are frustrated. Many of you are skeptical. Many of you are nonchalant about this. So you know where I stand. I do think they deserve a second chance. I think they deserve to pursue their own career. I've never wished them ill. I still don't wish them ill. Will never wish them ill. I just was hoping that they were going to resume their career outside of HYBE. But it is what it is. They went back. It's not like Ador can say no to them, given that that was what Ador was fighting for in court. So I don't think they anticipated the girls are going to come back. But um, what can we do? I just hope that for me, the most important thing is the other members, other groups that were inevitably dragged into this. I'll it Le Seraphim, and then the others, of course, 17, TXT, and Hypen and BTS. I hope that they get enough protection. I hope that the management of HYBE set everything up so that nothing like this ever happens again. And of course, they will have to take accountability for what they have done. Uh, doesn't matter if they were brainwashed, doesn't matter whatever, they did it and they caused damage, and they have to be accountable for that. Okay. Um NJ going back is a part of MHJ plan. So rude. They walked out and do their own press. Now they're doing their own press to go back in. These three girls are very unforgivable. Okay. Thank you, everybody. But before I go, is there anything else that you want to ask? Anything else that you want to say? I know many of you are frustrated. And the contract should be put, if you fix your lips to lie on us again, we're suing you and terminating this shit. They won't take accountability. Minji, do you understand? Okay. Um all right. So baby girl, who's that? Wait, let me block her. Baby girl. I don't see her. Is she hiding from me? Okay. I see her one message. I'm not really quite sure what she's talking about. Just want to be careful before I block people because I made that one mistake before blocking somebody immediately, even though he wasn't doing anything wrong. Have they dropped their appeal? They haven't filed it. Baby girl is a troll. Yeah, I saw some of her messages, but as I've said, I just want to be careful before I block her. So far, the messages that I'm seeing from her don't really see. It seems that she's wording her words very strongly. But so I was saying, what was I saying? uh, well, there was a question I was trying to answer. Just no questions, just worries. Have they dropped their appeal? They haven't filed their appeal. Uh yeah, they haven't filed their appeal. So baby girl is saying, block me for giving my opinion. No, that's why I said I want to see what you're saying before I block you. Did you not hear me, baby girl? That's exactly what I said. I said, wait, I don't want to block her before I see what she's actually saying. So if you are going to get offended with that, maybe I should just block you. How about that? There you go. You got what you want. Okay. Um, she's just in timeout. She can still come back. So, all right, but that's what I was calling her baby girls, making me laugh. No, I was. That's exact. Did you not hear me? You guys were asking me to block her. And I said, I don't want to block her yet until I was sure what she was saying. That's what I said, right? You heard me clear. So she's just on timeout. She can still she can still message after 5 minutes. Okay, you are so funny. Because like I was trying to fight for her. I was defending her. And then she was like, okay, then you get what you want. If that's how you're going to talk to me, then you'll get what you want. Okay. Okay. All right. Maybe I should just not defend anybody anymore. Okay. Maybe baby girl was complaining to the folks who were calling her to be blocked. She was talking to me. I was saying that I don't want to block her. And she was like, block me for giving my opinion. I was like, well, I was trying to defend you. But if you're going to talk to me that way, well, then I'm going to give you what you want. Okay. All right. So that's it. It's supposed to be just 1 hour, an hour, just because I wanted to break the news to you guys and also give you a space to vent. So I will see you later at 4 p.m. Don't worry, she's not blocked. She's just on timeout. She can still participate. Come moving forward. Okay. Can we just talk about K-pop, please? Later, we're going to do that. So I'll see you later. As I've said, this was not supposed to go on for this long. I was just going to break the news to you guys. I'll see you later. For those of you who can participate, I will do a live stream at 4 p.m. So I will see you there. Okay. Thank you. Nakaabot din ako yeah, I'm about to go out. So, but I'm glad that you are here. All right. Thank you. Bye.